Now, in your chord booklet, you have a chord progression that's described as random. It's very flexible. Let's look at the D minor chord with our dark, bright intervals to give us minor with D at the root. The other chord in this progression is B flat, one of the other chords. Starting on B flat, down from B, bright, dark, because it's major. Again, G minor, dark, bright, A major, bright, dark, as majors always are. Now the chord symbols themselves are very simple. In fact, it's very condensed language. The major chords, like the A major we just played, the major chords are simply capital letters. When we want the minor, we add the M. For the D minor chord, you'll see the D, M. M meaning minor, making it a dark, bright structure. Now, the actual order these chords are played in, if we took the time to write out for you all the possibilities, it would take page after page and it would look very frightening. So what we're going to do is give you just a few examples, and then you can experiment with the order they're played in. If you start with the D minor chord and end with the D minor chord, it doesn't matter what order you play the other chords in. You can go from D minor right to the G minor, from the D minor to the B flat major. It doesn't matter how they're played. And once you're on those chords, you can go anywhere you want. But it really won't sound over or ended until you're back on D minor. Now, some of the musical possibilities, we're going to use the pedal, the sustain pedal, to get a nice smooth sound. So start a little quieter. Beginners tend to play harshly, and the piano is already a percussion or a percussive instrument. So if you're playing and you're irritating yourself, you're probably what some piano teachers will call thumping. You're hitting the keys too hard and it's too abrasive. So the very first sound we want to get is nice and smooth and quiet. If it doesn't sound the same as when I play it, we will be going through the precise reasons why musical playing is musical playing, why it sounds better when somebody with experience is playing. One thing you may not think of is your piano may be out of tune. Each string on the piano, at least the higher strings on the piano, there are 3 strings for each pitch. This hammer is hitting 3 strings. They need to be the same pitch or it sounds awful. Same with the black keys. It doesn't matter whether a key is white or black on the keyboard. Now, another thing, this is a Walter Grand. Walter makes one of the world-class pianos that's very affordable. In fact, I was recently playing on a $200,000 piano that doesn't have the ring, the bell tone that I like personally, that the Walter does. Some of the sound, if you play real quiet and smooth, you get this gorgeous sound from good pianos. Most of that you can get with any piano that's in tune. Now the longer the string, the fuller the sound is going to be, and the better quality the piano is, the better sound is going to be. But a piano that's in tune almost always has a very pleasing sound. Now, if you go on and you're playing harshly, it's not going to sound very good. If you're holding the pedal down the whole time you're playing, you're getting a muddy sound. The pedal has to come up when you change chords. But we will specifically, not just now but later, be going through the reasons why your own playing isn't as pleasing as someone who has more experience. Sometimes it's just relaxing the hands, learning how to play from a relaxed hand position where things can be smoother. When you're tense and tight, you have muscles that are in the way. You're not able to play smoothly and fluently because your tight muscles are actually barring the muscles that should be used. So we will learn how to relax and the other basic principles to get beautiful sounds from these chords. When we start adding smooth rhythms, it's not nearly as difficult as what most people assume. Everyone, children, even at the age of 2, 3, 4 years old, have hundreds of rhythms in their mind. All we have to do is apply the rhythms that we take from language. When I'm working with young students and I ask them to create a rhythm, they always usually say something like, "What do you mean?" And that's a perfect rhythm to start with. What do you mean? Da-da-da-da. So we can play aggressive rhythms because we already know hundreds of rhythms. There's no problem coming up with them. You can play your name. Say it, first name, middle name, last name. Now don't do long sentences or long phrases or whole paragraphs on the same chord because chords usually change every 3 or 4 beats or so. If you stay too long on the same chord, it becomes intrinsically non-musical. But if you'll take a short phrase of any kind, let's say phrase of any kind. Phrase of any kind. So I'm being a little ridiculous, but it does not matter what words you use, but that gives you a few hundred rhythms to start with right from scratch. We will be expanding how these chords, this simple progression, can be played all over the piano by adding notes that are really from the chord. All kinds of sounds we can get as we amplify this. So we'll go through these chords any way you want to play them for now, and we'll give you some more ideas later.